Hello there, Curvis listeners. This is Jemmy, your host and producer from Flintstone Media with the 88th episode. Oh my gosh, episode 88. I can't even believe it. 88th episode of the Curve the Cube podcast. And I'm so excited to bring you this episode because I had the distinct pleasure of traveling to the Palm Beach Zoo and being immersed in all its glory and wonder and beautiful things. I've always been a lover of nature and animals, and my dad used to always joke when I was little that I would grow up to save the whales and stuff. And so I've, to have a podcast and talk about the passionate work people do and what they dive their whole lives into, and how can I not talk about people who work with animals and the dedication of that group of people is just, it's really stunning. And I got to meet today, or not today because I actually recorded this a few days ago, but I got to meet the other day with Amanda Joy and Amy Anderson, who are two of the warmest, most lovely people I have ever met in my entire life. In fact, I kind of wanted to just put them in my pocket and carry them around with me everywhere from now on, because their enthusiasm and zest for life, just purely infectious. They really made this podcast everything I could have ever hoped it would be and more. So Amanda Joy is the zoo's membership manager, and Amy Anderson is their animal curator, and we got to stand by the capybara exhibit, which, if you know anything about me, they're just my favorite. There's something about capybara that just make me feel just so warm and happy. And we did this entire podcast right by their exhibit, and it was just happy day. So you'll hear all the beautiful sounds of the zoo around us. And we talk all about conservation and education, and Amy and Amanda really see, and the whole zoo, they really see the animals and their care as ambassadors for their brethren in the wild, and a voice for them, and for how to properly care for them, and how we need to share this planet with them. And what they do at the zoo is just, it's all full of passionate work, and how much they truly love and care for the animals is just so completely obvious. They have a true passion for what they do. And it was a real privilege to have Amanda and Amy on. I really can't thank them enough for taking the time out of their day for jumping on the podcast, and they just did such a great job. And it was all set up by Naki Carter, who is the zoo's public relations manager, and she's just absolutely amazing. She's an award-winning PR guru who has just been really coming up with some innovative ways to promote the park and its message, including, they do tons of real-time pics and videos on social media feeds, and they're doing some incredible special events. They do animal paintings. So there's so much stuff that they're doing at the zoo right now, and a lot of it is thanks to Naki Carter and her PR skills. And so thank you again to her for setting this up. And if you rewind to episode 84, which was the bonus episode, you'll get a taste of what one of these special events is really like, because I went and covered something they're doing. Pokemon Go is just a huge craze right now, and they're taking full advantage and are dropping lures on Friday nights as part of their safari nights. So they not only have safari night fun and the food truck fun, but now they're dropping Pokemon Go lures, bringing some trainers in. It's just, they're really, really doing an amazing job. So rewind to episode 84 or catch my write-up on the new Curve the Cube blog, which is on WordPress. You can find the link right on curvethecube.com under the About section. But go to that write-up. It's just so much fun, and I got to interview some trainers who were in teams running around the park catching all kinds of Pokemon. It was a lot of fun. So my point is that Naki is doing some innovative things with the zoo, and Amanda and Amy are just key representatives perfectly signifying the passion that these people have. So I want to dedicate this episode to the memory of Stacy Kohnweiser, and in honor of all the zookeepers and other zoo staff, such as Amanda and Amy, who dedicate their lives to being a voice for the care and the conservation of our planet's beautiful, beautiful creatures. So you can reach out to Naki at ncarter, Ncarter, at palmbeachzoo.org, or go to palmbeachzoo.org and catch up on all their events and goings-on. And you can also follow the Palm Beach Zoo on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, pretty much everywhere as Palm Beach Zoo. They're super easy to find. And that's it. I will say this episode is sponsored by Pizza Girls, who are just amazing, amazing, amazing people. They have a new spot open, but their flagship location is on Clematis. I believe their new spot is, I should know this. I believe it's on in PGA, but go to pizzagirls.com and you will find all the information on their new spot. But their flagship location is on Clematis, right where it meets Flagler. Go in there, have a slice day, mention the podcast, and get 10% off your order. They specialize in New York style pizza, and they are so delicious. And if you want some small business inspiration, go rewind back to episode number 17 where I featured them and Jen and Phoebe, the owners of Pizza Girls, and they're just such great people. So I wish them nothing but the best of luck, and thank you for always being such dedicated sponsors to the show. And you can also be dedicated sponsored by going to our Patreon page at patreon.com/curvethecube. There's ways to continually support the podcast there. Thank you to TJ Jump Hitta, as always, for the music beds. And follow Curve the Cube everywhere. That's all I'll say this time, I promise. With that, I'll say sit back and relax and enjoy this, the 88th episode of the Curve the Cube podcast with Amy and Amanda, who are just wonderful representatives of the Palm Beach Zoo. Enjoy. Curve the Cube will now initiate.
Hey, you're Amy, aren't you?
I get fucked, if you don't mind. How are you? And you're Amanda.
Hi. How are you?
Great to meet you guys.
Yeah, it's really nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me and taking the time and stuff. I'm recording, just FYI. Where can we go and chat for a little while? Where would be a good spot?
Well, the zoo is an awesome place. Do you want to go to an animal exhibit?
Let's do that.
Okay, let's
go. That would be fantastic. Thank you.
So we have a lot of really awesome animals here. So is there anything in particular that your heart is set on?
Okay, so
we love it all. So
I am the biggest capybara fan.
Oh, okay, great.
I love them more than I could possibly explain. I remember the first time I saw one was on TV, and I was dumbfounded. Really? I had no idea.
Do you know we offer a capybara experience?
Stop it.
Yes, you can actually go into the exhibit with one of the capybaras.
Stop it. Do we get to snuggle? Because that's what I really want.
You cannot snuggle with them.
Ah, man.
They're a little shy for that.
Come on, capybara experience 2.0? No.
You know what? I know. We do have a Cappy Experience 2.0. Do you know what it is?
No, what is it?
You are able to snuggle at any time during the day with a capybara. Plush.
Ah, so close, yet so far.
It's available in the gift shop.
So close, yet so far.
And they are just as adorable, but they are kind of like miniature size.
Gotcha. So. I was like, when it said, I heard it on the TV, it said world's largest rodent, and my mouth just was like totally agape, because I'm like, that is a rodent? Are you kidding me? I just couldn't believe it. It's funny because my friend Viv's dog ran in the other day from outside, and I said to her, is that a toy? She said, what? She starts screaming. She's like, no, that's a real rat. That's a real rat. That's a real rat. And rats freak me out, but capybaras, man, I love them.
They are an adorable rodent.
I have never met one until I started at the zoo.
Really?
Here. And when I met them, I'm like, I don't know. I was the same way. I was like, I don't know what that is, but I love it. And then I'll tell you this story, okay? Because I didn't know a lot about them coming here.
Yeah.
So this area right here, this is our cafe deck. And I was walking on that cafe deck, and all I hear is this big, boom, like a big cannonball, okay? So I was like, what was that? So I look and I'm concerned.
Right.
And it's a capybara.
What was it doing?
Well, I called the girl that oversees the cappies and I was like, hey, I'm sure this is normal, but I just want to check in. Because I was newer.
Right.
And she starts laughing at me. She goes, yep, they do that every day. They like to dive bomb in and they
Oh,
swim
is that
across
what
the water.
oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
so they were just having a good old time.
Yeah, I was here a few weeks ago, and
one at the base.
oh, I
At the
see
base
them.
of that tree in the water.
Oh, there's another one hiding a little bit. Yeah, I was here a few weeks ago for your first Pokemon Go night.
Oh, yay!
And I just got stuck here because I'm like, I can't walk away. They're so cute. And what was swimming around, I'm like, oh, I love them so much.
Yeah, what's funny about them is we actually have 3 sisters, and
Really?
one of them does not get along with her 2 sisters.
No kidding.
So-
Sibling
Yeah,
rivalry
sibling rivalry.
in all species.
So, exactly, across the border. So she actually lives over with our Bayard's tapers.
Your what?
Bayard's tapers.
What are those?
They are an interesting animal. I think
I hear
they're-
you laughing.
They're actually most
Amy,
closely related to rhinos, I believe. But they almost look like a mix between a hippo and an elephant.
And an anteater.
And an anteater. They're
Really?
very strange, but really amazing.
Where are those guys from?
Central and South America.
Yeah. How about
I don't know.
capybara? Where are they native to?
They are also native to Central and South America. This entire region is the tropics of the Americas.
Yeah.
Harriet and George Cornell very generously donated a lot of money for us to be able to develop this entire section. So all of the animals in this area are native to Central and South America. And a lot of them are part of our species survival plan. So we try to have animals here that have a very strong conservation message and
Gotcha.
animals that we can actually do something to help their populations. So we have quite a few that are part of the species survival plan. The tapirs are one of them, and we were very lucky to have 2 tapir births in the last few years here at the zoo, which is pretty rare
So
among zoos.
when you say do whatever you can to help the species, what are some of the things that you guys do? Like, are you talking about breeding or?
Yeah, so basically it's short for SSP. That's what we call it. So it's kind of like Match.com for animals. In really simple
Can I sign up? Because I'm not doing so well.
We're all there. We're all there. That's why we work with them.
They'll never reject you.
Right?
I love you no matter what.
Right, exactly.
And most of them will outlive us.
So basically what it is that there's Match.com for the cappies, okay? So someone is in charge of all the cappies throughout all zoos and aquariums.
Okay.
So then what they do is they look at all of those different animals and they're like, okay, you and you would be great together.
Because their genetics and different features
Yeah.
and traits
Yes.
that they have that
Right.
make them very valuable for
Yeah,
Right.
the species.
absolutely. So they look at all of that information and then they say, okay, you two are recommended to breed together to make that genetic line really strong and to
Gotcha.
help survive that species.
Gotcha.
So then they put all those recommendations out to the zoos and aquariums and then we all get together and we have a responsibility being a zoo and aquarium,
Yeah.
you know, to help these species survive. So that's when we all coordinate together and we're like, okay, Match.com says that your cappy should be with my cappy.
Just give her a chance. Just give her a chance.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so then we magically make all of that stuff happen behind the scenes.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
And then in front of the scenes, we have things like keeper talks and animal shows that we really use to try to educate the public
Yeah.
and give them an understanding of why these animals are here. We don't ever want people to just walk through a zoo and be like, oh, cool animals. We want them to really have a good understanding of why they're here and that they're here as ambassadors to their cousins in the wild. They're here to give the story, to tell the story, to show people, yes, I'm adorable, but also
Right.
this is
And
what's
I
going
wanna
on in the
snuggle
world.
with you really bad.
Yeah,
However,
exactly. However, it's really important for our species that you
Yeah.
understand that we exist and why we're here and what you can do, like recycle, or use sustainable palm oil.
Right, right.
All sorts of different things that we can do in our day-to-day lives that really help their species.
I had an interview about a year ago now, maybe, with, this is going to seem really random, but I'll get there, with a guy named Peter Aggerty. He is a co-founder of Saltwater Brewery down in Delray.
We actually have him here sometimes at the zoo with
Oh, do
Saltwater
you?
Brewery for our tap takeover.
It makes sense
Yeah.
because I was going to say that I know that they were working with people to develop edible ring
They
cans.
have the rings
can rings,
instead
yeah.
of the plastic.
Yeah.
They now use a material that when it goes into the water, it actually decomposes into like fish food.
Right.
So it doesn't harm the environment.
Right.
And doesn't kill any species. It's
Right.
great. Yeah.
So I love whenever I hear people doing things that are innovative and taking the environment and our animal brethren into account. It makes such a big difference. And that kind of mindset starts when people are really, really young, I think, and I know you guys do a lot of work with kids. I know I probably went on a field trip or two when I was little here. I'm sure I did. I imagine that you get tour groups of kids all the time.
We have camp groups, school groups, all sorts of groups that the education department deals with, and then they have some really great opportunities. We can even do, in our Baum Conference Center, they do the outreach,
like distant
learning. That's what it is. So they can do it through the television if people can't actually get here. But they do have all sorts of programs. We have zoo camp here at the zoo.
Oh, fun.
Which is a lot of fun.
Do you accept adults? That sounds awesome.
Well, we do offer sleepovers where there does need to be an adult. You just need to borrow a child.
All right, I have a 4-year-old. Sweet. That's awesome. Perfect.
And you can sleep over at the zoo.
It's good for something. So I want to rewind just a little bit and make sure my listeners know who each of you is. So if you could just do a quick intro of yourself and what you do and your name and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Amy Anderson, and here at the zoo I am one of the associate curators, and I oversee our herps here, which are all of our scaly friends.
Oh, nice.
Friends.
Nice.
And I also oversee our program animals. So like Amanda was saying, we have a lot of outreach programs where they take animals out into the zoo or out on different field trips.
I think I saw you take someone, like you took Wilbur to somewhere. I saw a video of a news station or something.
Yeah, she's gone to the news. She's gone to the BMW dealership.
Oh, that's where it was. There's a Bremen, right?
Yes, I was there. That was fancy.
Yeah.
So I oversee all of those departments.
That's awesome. And well, actually, let me ask you a quick question, because I'm thinking about getting my son something, and we were talking about what pet he could like, and maybe a leopard gecko. Do you think that'd be a good choice for a 4-year-old? It's fine, I promise. You can't hear it.
No, did you hear that?
I thought that was a car. I was totally thinking that was a car. What was that?
That would be our bears.
I was totally like, why is there an engine revving so close? All right, whatever. And I thought you were signaling to it like, oh, is it going to interrupt the... No, like, what here? Duh, I'm just... Sorry.
You're at the zoo.
It takes me a while sometimes. I get there eventually. So that was the black bears, right? Is that what those are
We
over
have
there?
2 different sets of bears. So
Okay.
we have the black bears, which are our boys.
Yeah.
And then we also have our young grizzly cubs, which are rescued animals that we are babysitting right now.
Gotcha.
So they are only here temporarily, but they are so much fun. I cannot even explain these girls. They just warm my heart every day. I just like to go over there and see them because they always put a smile on your face.
Awesome.
I know we'll have to go over there.
We'll definitely go over there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so please introduce yourself.
My name is Amanda Joy. I'm the membership manager. I also deal with our animal experience programs, such as our capybara experience. You get closer to animals and learn a lot from the keepers one-on-one. I also take care of our animal Art Gone Wild program, which
is that when the animals paint?
The animals are painters.
I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool.
It is. It's really cool, and it's also a great form of enrichment for the animals. It helps stimulate them, gets them excited about something.
Yeah.
And then it's a way for them to showcase just how cool they are.
Yeah.
So I do a little bit of here and there and help out where I can.
So I think what you guys do, and I'll allow you to expand on it a lot more, but with conservation and everything is such an incredible and important mission. But I know sometimes it can be misconceived or misperceived, and people can kind of come down on zoos and other kind of places like that for saying, well, you shouldn't, enclose animals or what have you. I mean, what do you say to counteract those thoughts?
My take on that is a lot of people, to get them interested and to even educate them on things like animals, you also need to provide some sort of entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's a really difficult balance to have a zoo and not have it strictly entertainment, but to really get the point across of, again, why these animals are here, why they exist, why they're in captivity. Again, they're ambassadors for their cousins in the wild. They're here to teach us a lesson, to give us... It's hard to understand the importance of these animals without really seeing them one-on-one. So this provides a wonderful environment for people to safely observe these animals, and then for us to really take our job seriously and ensure that we're getting the point across of why these animals are here. And then again, we do that through our keeper talks and our shows daily. Right. And our outreach and education department as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about connecting, having that personal connection with something. It's a little bit different than looking at an animal in a book. You know, like if you were to be able to go into this exhibit right here and get close with that cat.
Let me tell you, it was one thing to see them on TV, but I love seeing them in person so much more.
Yes, So like you start to glow and you start to really connect with those animals if you can get up close with them and really understand them from a different light, you know. So that's really important for having them, you know, in the care of man. And the other thing too that a lot of people don't realize is that we have to follow very strict regulations. So normally there are regulations that are set and it says you must provide this for this animal, okay? And we always try to take that and push that envelope and go as big as we possibly can to not only give them what they're required to have, but to give them more than what they're required to have, you know? And that's what we always want to do because our hearts are with these animals. You know, we don't work here because we are filthy rich and we have a glamorous lifestyle outside of work, you know, like we're here.
What was that red carpet out front for? I swear I walked on one on the way in.
But you know, like we're here because we love the animals and we love to spread that message to other people. So that is why we're here. It's not because for any other reason, you know, that's why we're here. We care for the animals and we give them everything that we can. And that also includes enrichment. It's a really big fancy word for saying like a type of toy.
Or the painting.
The painting serves of enrichment.
Yes, absolutely. And enrichment can come in so many different forms. Enrichment for an animal like Wilbur, that sloth you met, you know, for her to go out and have new smells at a dealership and new people and travel, that's enriching for her. So that's a different thing than what she's used to in her normal day. But they could, you know, travel, meet different people, interact with different keepers, that's enriching. There's also different things. There may be one floating around in here. Maybe it's floating somewhere else, but we have these big devices that we could put food on, and then the cappies have to swim over to it and somehow like bat it off. So it stimulates them, so it actually activates different muscles for them to use. So we try to help stimulate different things that they would do in their environment right here in the care of man to help stimulate them.
Well, I mean, I think it's fairly obvious. You guys are definitely doing it right, you know, and it's clear to me, and I think it's clear to pretty much everybody that your hearts are absolutely in it for the right reasons. And I think you're about to say something.
Well, Amy also touched on basically the AZA, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. They hold us to very high standards of what we need to offer these animals to, again, make sure that we are here for the right reasons. We are educating the public. We are trying to protect the species, and we want everyone to know that. So I think another way for people you know, who might be anti-zoo, say, is it's important for them to do their research and hold different places accountable for how they take care of their animals. If you go to any AZA accredited zoo, you're going to see the animals are in good health, they're happy, they're well taken care of, and the people that take care of them love it. Again, we don't get paid anything, because we love it. You know, it's very different than, say, you know, a circus or some sort of other, you know, kind of thing that has animals. You know, hold them accountable. You know, see how they take care of their animals. What standards are they held to? We want to not just hit our standards, but like Amy said, go above and beyond. You know, and give them everything that we have, because we're their voice. You know, you just hear the noises, but we're their voice. We're here to tell their story.
And the noise is not necessarily a car engine. It could be a bear.
It might be a bear.
And it was not my stomach. Either.
Luckily, you're with somebody who has pepper spray. So
okay, all right. So I'm good. So how did you, the two of you individually, how did you guys get involved with the zoo, and what was your journey to get here? Whoever wants to start.
Honestly, I have a marine mammal background. So I've worked with dolphins and penguins and beluga whales.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous.
It is hard work, though. It is amazing work, but it is really hard work. So I worked with all those animals. I journeyed to work with a lot of our birds, which I used to be terrified of birds. So I had to But, and this is what's so cool, okay? So I worked with these marine mammals my whole life, and I loved it. That's where my heart was. I loved birds from a distance, and then I was like, I'm going to go work with them, but I'm terrified. And then when I got in there and I started hand-raising animals and really connecting with them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love them. I love them. So it's one of those things that when you're an animal person, you have a love for all of it. It's a blanket layer. You may be more connected to one animal than another, but you have that love for all of the species.
All right, come on, be honest. What still grosses you out?
Okay, there's one thing. There's one thing. I'm okay with spiders. I
love tarantulas.
I'm
a huge tarantula fan.
Yes, we are trying to get one here. But the one thing that is a little, I'm like, I'm okay if you handle that animal. Are the cockroaches.
I'll be over there. Oh, cockroaches. I don't blame you. I don't. You guys have like the hissing and all of that. Is that?
We do not have the hissing.
No, we don't have the hissing.
Okay.
I may be over here.
They're helmeted cockroaches or
oh my gosh,
like
it's fascinating how big some of them are. I mean, they're just such a variety. Oh my gosh, there's so many different, it's crazy.
But I mean, I love it. I have a kangaroo in my area, and
Really?
he's newer to my area, and
Oh,
I'm just like, I love
fun.
him. And then Amanda's got to work with him too, and she fell in love
that's
with him.
awesome.
And, your heart just falls in love, and you don't mean for it to. It just does, because
Yeah.
that's where your heart is. It's in your blood. So that's a little bit of my background. And then I also worked a lot of hours in our aquarium department where I was, and helped with the fish and the stingrays and the sharks, and that was really cool and passionate for me as well. And then I was looking to excel in my career because I was really passionate about conservation.
Okay.
So I did some live shows to help express the conservation message, and then I applied here, and boom!
Awesome.
Here I am. Boom!
From sea to land.
From sea to land. Yeah, I like that.
And how about you, Amanda?
My zoo career started up in Ohio at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, and I started in the Animal Encounters and Outreach Department. So right after college I started that, and that's where I really found my passion for sharing everything I learn about wildlife with people, and getting on a level that they understand, and finding that connection between them and wildlife.
Yeah.
And just going out to schools and retirement homes and churches and teaching people of all different ages about the animals was so exciting to me, and to see the excitement grow in them, and for them to walk away having learned something new was just so inspiring to me. So my family is from around Florida and West Palm, so I ended up coming back here, and I really wanted to get involved with the local zoo, so that was the Palm Beach Zoo and Conservation Society.
There you go.
So initially when I came here, there was no positions in the keeper area, so I actually started in the gift shop.
Okay.
Worked my way up, and then finally after 3 years, I encouraged our CEO and CFO to give me a position after many PowerPoint presentations, but I did it.
I love it.
So I got the membership manager role, and ever since then I've been doing everything I can to help develop some of our programs that really help enrich the lives of the animals, and also are a great way to, again, connect people to the wildlife through the animal artwork, through the animal experiences. I actually just recently took over the animal adoptions program.
Good for you.
So that's going to be developed over the next month. And hopefully we'll get that online soon. So
What are some of those animal experiences?
we have a capybara experience, which are the largest rodents. We have a giant hamsters, they're adorable. We have a two-toed sloth experience with Wilbur, who you've seen on the news.
Awesome.
Wilbur's famous. That is actually our most popular experience.
I believe
and then
it.
we also have a giant anteater experience, which is very, very neat. A really neat opportunity to see one of them up close.
Yeah.
And then we also have an Aldabra tortoise experience, which allows you to go into the exhibit with the Aldabra tortoises, the second largest tortoise in the world next to the Galapagos tortoise. And in that same yard is actually that lovely kangaroo Erwin that we both love.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I know you guys were talking a little bit.
Something with the alligators at 11:30. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
There is an alligator talking about 12 o'clock. Okay, thank you so much.
No worries. No worries. So I know you guys were talking a little bit about through the system of zoos and, that you guys do a little bit of exchange when it's beneficial for the animals, but for animals that have a little bit more of a permanent residence here, where do they come from? How do they get here?
Well, some of them come from other zoos and aquariums, and they may be going into a retirement, so maybe they're taken out of that Match.com program. So they're okay, just kind of hanging out.
I think that's called the ourtime.com. I think there's like a dating site for 50s and over. It's called Our Time. Something like that.
Yes. So some of those animals, like, for example, Marty, our white alligator, he's getting a brand new exhibit that's being built currently that
for
should be
him.
opening up this fall.
That's awesome.
And so he'll just stay here, and he'll be on exhibit for everybody to really learn about him and to see him and to appreciate him for how rare he is.
Is he albino or is he?
He is not albino. He's actually a white alligator, so
Okay.
he has some pigment. He has bright blue eyes, and he has a little bit of pigment on his snout that I like to call freckles. But the albinos actually lack complete pigmentation. That's why you see they have pink eyes, because you see all the blood vessels in the eyes. So he is very rare. There's only about 10 of them in the world.
Wow.
And they are all related. They came from a clutch within the Louisiana area.
Okay, a little inbreeding. All right, I got you.
No, not necessarily.
Just teasing.
And it's more likely that their parents were probably both green alligators, and they just had a genetic, gene that caused this white alligator mutation. Very special and really neat to see. We're really lucky to have one. So he's just gonna have a great new home and get to hang out.
Yeah.
And Erwin too, our kangaroo. He's just here in retirement. So we definitely have animals here that they just enjoy what they get. I mean, they have first class service. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, clean up after them. Everything you need. We got it.
Do they have to like ring a little bell?
If Erwin
Are you
had a bell, he
serious?
would.
I I feel like our deer does. She will greet you at the door. She's like,
She
good
does.
morning. Do you have anything for me?
As soon as you come over, she
Yes.
knows. Like, okay, it's
Yeah.
breakfast, right? Breakfast. You missed the spot.
She'll follow you around.
She will.
Oh,
She's
that's
the
so
sweetest
funny.
thing, though,
Yeah.
so,
That's so funny. So one thing that fascinates me about a zoo setting, because you have so many different animals
Scoot in the
in a
street.
relatively in a relatively small area for what they would normally. I mean, this isn't like the wild. So how do you figure out like where to set up the different animals so that there's no conflicts, or because I imagine they have different stimulations from other animal sounds or other animal smells and that type of thing. Like, how do you keep all of that copacetic?
Yeah, no,
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is a delicate balance.
Yeah.
You can have multiple species within one exhibit, but you can have a species that's a ground dweller.
Yeah.
And then you can have one that's a tree dweller.
You definitely are used to giving presentations. You're so animated. I love it. I love it.
It's kind of a big deal.
All right, ground dweller, tree dweller, yeah.
Do you want me to like walk like this as well?
One of the best exhibits here is Amy Anderson.
I believe it.
We let her roam freely throughout the zoo.
Shows every hour and a half.
I do animal experiences, but it is just not available right now. I'm sold out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You're like,
No, so you can have a tortoise downstairs on the ground, hanging out, in his own little environment, and then you could have a sloth in that same exhibit. So they coexist really well together because it's not a predator-prey issue, because you have to pay attention.
of course. All right.
Minor detail.
Just minor.
Just minor.
But they are utilizing different areas of that habitat, so they can coexist together. So you look at all of those different factors, and then you come up with your recipe of what animals you want to put into what exhibit. But here's the story. Not everybody always gets along. It's just like us. You can go to a new workplace and not get along with everybody, or go to a new school and not get along. So what you could do
Or
is
have two sisters that you don't like and have to be moved to them.
Absolutely, yes. So it's not like this perfect world, but we will try to take everything into consideration and then make this magical exhibit. And then when we put everything in there, then it may be like, oh, this actually is not working. Let's change this ever so slightly.
Right.
So we have that ability to do that, and we think ahead for those things. So for example, when we moved some of our animals over to our Aldabra yard and our llama yard, we had this game plan. We're like, yeah, we're going to put, this bird here and this bird here. And we're like, yeah, go. So we did that.
Go.
And the bird, it was a crane, a sandhill crane, so just kind of like that bird you see over there grooming themselves.
Oh, yeah,
over there.
yeah.
So is that bird.
Yeah.
And so, she's in this exhibit, and she's like,
She didn't know what to do with herself.
I need to be over there. And so she's
Spazzing out a little bit. I have no idea.
pacing and very interested because there was an emu on the other side of that fence, and she had never seen this animal up close like this before. So they've never lived together or anything like that. They live close together, but not, in the same exhibit. So we watch this and, we're like, okay, is this stressing her out? Is she going to adjust? And we monitor all of this stuff because we don't want them to stress out. We want it to be a nice, smooth mood. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then we finally decided, okay, you know what? She is really interested in being over there. Everything is pretty stable over there. So let's do this. Let's open the door. So we open the door and she's like, yay!
She did it just like that. Just like that.
And the emu was like, whoa! Hey. So then they became best friends, and they
that's
followed each other
awesome.
everywhere together. It was the cutest thing. So it just was the fit. We didn't realize that was the best
Yeah,
fit, but
yeah.
she was telling us, no, this fit isn't working, but that's fit
gonna be great.
works. So we're like, okay, done. I mean, at the end of the day, I am not the boss. The animals are the boss of us. They need something, we give it to them.
Interesting.
Even if it's late at night, we come in to do that because that's what we're here for.
What is your, I almost hate to call it a job because to me it feels like much more than that. But what is it like day to day? What is your job really like? And what are the biggest misconceptions that like your family, friends, or whatever think that you? What do you really do? Or what do people think you do?
Yeah.
I'll start. Because you're a little long-winded. And then I forget what I'm going to say.
I'll go over here.
Well, being the membership manager, my day-to-day is a little mix of administrative and also being in the zoo. But the misconception that I get is you say you work at the zoo, and so everyone assumes you must be a zookeeper.
Right.
So everybody always thinks that.
Right.
Sometimes they get an opportunity to do that, which is great. And then, of course, I share all those photos with everybody I can. But I'd say that's the biggest misconception is everyone just assumes that you're just cuddling animals. And even at that, that's a misconception of zookeepers because you're doing a lot more than that.
Right.
And cleaning up, and it takes a lot of effort, especially in this heat.
I was gonna be my next question. How the heck do you deal with this heat every day? My God. I guess you get used to it, but do you?
Well, as you can see, for our sweat, I'd say you don't get used to it, but you deal with it.
Yeah.
But we also take some precautionary measures to make sure people stay hydrated and cool. We now have cooling towels for all the keepers and staff who work outside so much. And we also encourage everyone to drink enough water and Gatorade. We have machines throughout the zoo, and we also provide some light snacks and Gatorade, I believe, for our staff that are out all the time so that they stay hydrated in this heat.
Gotcha. That's good.
I'll let you go.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely. What was the question again?
What is your job really like versus what do people think it's like? Yeah, what do you do?
That is a very good question, and there is never one day that is the same as the next day.
Yeah.
This radio is on silent right now, but if that radio is on, you will constantly hear AC-12, AC-12, AC-12.
Yes, they call her about 500 times a day.
So
that's your code name?
That's my code name.
Wow,
my
like
code
Secret
name.
Service level?
Don't tell anybody, all right?
All right. I'll edit that out.
Okay, good. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's how we communicate with each other. So I get calls all day long about, oh, this animal needs this, or can the vet come look at this animal, or, there's a lot of things that pertain to the animals, or hey, we need to fix this on this exhibit, or hey, we need to fix this, or we need this work order. So I help manage all of that stuff as well. I also am a part of the training team, so their goal is to train those animals so they can have animals in 2 of our shows here at the zoo, and train the animals so those animals can actually be handled to go out into the zoo for different events. Like if you were to have a birthday party or a wedding here, you can have animals that show up at that.
You guys do that?
We
That's
do
amazing.
That, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
So if my joining y'all's Match.com service works out, I will then have my wedding here and it'll be fabulous.
There you go. Exactly. Wilbur could possibly be at your wedding as well.
Yeah,
The ring wearer.
Love it.
She just puts it on her long finger.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. So I help, make sure that team has everything that they need to train those animals. And then from the herp standpoint, it's the same thing. They have animals that they need to care for, so they come to me to make sure that I'm ordering everything that I need to order or getting the supplies that we need. So that's a big part of my day. I also will jump in and help them with anything that they need to, whether it's cleaning or training sessions, anything like that. But there's also another side of my job that is not within the zoo, where I'm looking at different animals that I can bring into our collection.
Okay.
Different animals within our collection that maybe I want to take out of our collection and put into a different Match.com.
Okay.
So I handle all of that stuff, and that's a really delicate balance to make sure that we're bringing in the animals that we want for our zoo, that have a mission that we want to get across, not just because it's cute and cuddly. We bring in animals that really serve that purpose.
The conservation stuff, or what is there?
Absolutely.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, and that it fits our area. We don't want to bring in an African animal and put it in our South American section. We want to try to make it very cohesive together too. So I'm a part of making all of that happen as well. And I feel like that sounds like I don't really do much, but
I was thinking that actually sounded very, very good. I was like, maybe I need to revise my answer. Hey, it sounds like I don't do anything. I'm like, she looks after the whole zoo. I just do computer work.
Well, Amanda sells herself short. She actually does a lot here at the zoo, more than just, the animal experiences and the artwork and memberships and things like that. She has this really creative mind, so she's always thinking of ideas of like, what if we did this event, or what if we did this or that? So me and Amanda actually bounce ideas off of each other a lot because, we love the zoo, and it's not just about the animals, it's about other things. Like, what can we do for our guests to make our zoo even cooler? And we were just talking about an idea last night, of how to brainstorm and do this. So me and Amanda do a lot of that together too.
Awesome.
So that's really exciting because we come up with some really crazy, awesome ideas.
Well, one of the most mind-blowingly amazing ideas that I thought was so fantastic you guys took advantage was the Pokémon Go, because it's like it's a huge hot trend. And not only that, but any other companies that are, I'll use the term loosely, other companies that are taking advantage of it, they have to balance it with, well, if we get this influx of gamers who are just popping in for a minute and then running back out, is that going to interfere with our actual paying customers? But for you guys, it's a win-win, because they have to pay to get in the door anyway. Number one. Number two, I mean, they're still just walking around and enjoying it just like they would be any other time, and it doesn't take away from anybody else's experience, and yet it brings in all these other people who weren't necessarily be there to begin with. I remember when I came a couple weeks ago, and I was walking around and I talked to a couple of people who were playing Pokemon Go. I mean, one girl specifically said, she's like, I wouldn't be here on a Friday night, but I'm here and this is the most amazing thing ever. And I thought that was just so smart. And so when you guys do like big endeavors like that to increase your audience and increase your
attendance.
Yeah, your attendance. Thank you. What kind of impact do you hope that has? And I mean, it might be a dumb question, but what kind of impact?
No, it's not at all. I mean, obviously the biggest and most important impact is attendance. It drives people through the door. Again, they pay an admission fee to get in. All of that money goes back into the zoo to help the animals and help our mission of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's really been a great opportunity. You know, we had worked with Google Maps a few years ago to have them map out the zoo, and that ended up helping us with this Pokemon Go, because I guess that's how it works, is off of Google Maps.
Was good foresight.
Yeah,
that you didn't even know you were having.
We had no idea, but it worked well. And then we've been for our special events again to increase attendance for those events. We start dropping lures.
Yeah,
you know, so it has been great, and it has been an opportunity to get people that normally wouldn't be at the zoo to come here, and then they're not just having fun with their Pokemon game, but they might actually look up for a moment. And then,
well, that's what I noticed is like it's neat because they were looking up, they were doing their thing, but then they were looking up, and I know because I was totally playing at the same time, but like I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I was enjoying the environment I was in a new way, and it was really it was fantastic. So major kudos for you guys. What are some of the other big special events that you guys do, or do you have anything particular coming up?
We have all sorts of events over summertime. We have quite a few events. Every Friday night, June through the end of August. So August 29th will be our last safari nights for the season. It's every Friday night. It's free for zoo members. It's a reduced admission price from general admission if you come after 4:15. And that's a lot of fun. That's more kid-based. And then we have other events like Roar and Pour and Food Truck Safari. Those are usually Saturday night events that are more based for the adults, but also family-friendly. And then we have other events throughout the year. We have Boo at the Zoo coming up in October, which is going to be a lot of fun. That's always a good time.
I've heard it's a really good time, and I haven't been able to make it out yet, so I'm looking
forward to this October. You'll have to come.
Yeah, for sure.
But definitely some different events throughout the year. One of my favorites in particular is our Ladybug release for Valentine's Day.
Aww.
That one it's adorable and awesome. But that one's really been great. It's really been a huge attendance driver year after year that we've done it because
how many ladybugs do you release?
Well, a few thousand.
Wow.
Because they are natural pesticide.
Right.
They eat pests off the leaves and things, so we make sure that they are ladybugs, because there's many different species, so we make sure they're the right ladybugs for us to release. And then we have a few different...
Is it true that the ones with spots are boys? Because I told my son that the other day, and I hope that's true. Otherwise, you guys are looking extraordinarily puzzled.
I don't know that you can determine.
I need to go retract my statement. Son, I need to retract a statement from last week.
I'm not an expert on ladybugs, but I do not believe you can determine the sex based on the spots.
Okay. All right. Darn it.
Sorry.
I don't know if that was Bill Nye, the science guy, who failed me, but I'm blaming it on somebody.
I'm going to write him. False information.
So what is your favorite part of your day or of working here? Like, if you had to sum it up and as to why you love what you do so much.
You want to go first?
There's just so much to say. I mean, there are so many things that I love about my job. I love our mission here, and I also love the fact that we don't just say we want to be conservation minded, we actually walk that walk. And sometimes it costs a little bit more money, but we do that, and that's really passionate within my heart. So I love that, and we do that every day. So I love that part of my job. I love being able to see the team grow, and when they're training something that they need to train really quick, and you know it needs to be successul, and they do it, I'm like, yeah, like that really gets me excited to see people succeed with their training and with their animals. So I love that part of my day too, and I love giving the zoo what it needs. You know, like if I'm needed here or needed over there, like boom, I'm there.
Boom. That's awesome.
Boom. I mean, I have this little room, and I just jump in and put my cape on and jump out.
Super Amy to the rescue.
Yes.
see it now.
Here I am.
I can see it now. I can totally see it.
But I love that. I love
I'm gonna
the
make
zoo
you a cape now.
Yeah, because I really want to get dropping hints to people.
Well, next time you take the animals out to maybe see a school or someplace where lots of kids, totally wear a cape.
I know.
You're super Amy.
Yeah, exactly. I could blend in like one of the kids.
I love it.
So, I love that part. I love seeing people succeed. I like giving them the things that they need to succeed.
Yeah.
And in turn, if they're succeeding, then the animals are succeeding. And if that's succeeding, then the zoo is doing well. It's this full circle.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how about you?
Yeah. My favorite part is actually when I get to socialize with the guests. Going around and getting them excited about the animals. Or like I see them staring at an animal and I'm like, did you know his name? Do you know what he eats? So I like to catch them off guard. I like to surprise them. And
Like, give them a clean pair of shorts.
Yes. And I let them know there's a quiz before they leave.
All right.
So I want to make sure that they get the information.
When during the alligator discussion, where would that be?
That's going to be actually right under here underneath this cover.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Like that.
Yeah.
I like.
Is that Marty's is
No,
he
those
the?
are actually our two green alligators,
Okay.
American green alligators.
Gotcha.
But I just like to interact with the guests. I like to make sure that they know where the shows are, that
Right.
they know where the talks are, that they take advantage of the zoo. I do a lot of the guided tours around the zoo or VIP tours and things like that. So I really enjoy making sure people have a full understanding of the zoo. Again, why we're here, why we exist. Our mission is to inspire people to act on behalf of wildlife in the natural world. So I just think I'm like gung-ho for that mission.
Good
I want
for
to make
you.
sure people really get it.
I mean, I can't tell your passion for it at all.
No, not at all. Yeah. It's
She's
very,
just trying to get a
I
cape,
can
that's
tell.
all.
Right. She's trying to earn her cape.
I would very gladly run around with the cape, and I would have a lot of fun with that.
So, as we kind of start to wrap up and close, where can people find out about the zoo and all your events and membership and all of that?
I mean, one of the best places is our website, palmbeachzoo.org. They can also check out our Facebook and social media, our Instagram. We have a wonderful media relations manager, Naki, who does a phenomenal job
She's
on
amazing.
keeping everybody up to date
She's
on what's
amazing.
going on at the zoo. And we have all the keeper staff and everybody we can submitting photos that they take throughout the day, submitting information so that we can share that with everybody. So social media and our website is the best bet to stay on top of what events are coming up, what's going on at the zoo, and how people can join and be a part of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I will definitely encourage my listeners to come out to the zoo. And what are the zoo hours?
We are open every day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The last admission is sold at 4:15 p.m. The only days we're closed are Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay. Oh shoot! I just forgot my question. Look at my list here and see if it comes up. Hold on one second. 1 second.
It's probably about a cappy.
Right?
Take one home with me.
I don't know. You know, I don't know what my question was. Oh, yes, I do. Squirrel. So you guys said that. So you said that the zoo closes at 5. I can't help but wonder, what is the zoo like after hours? And I'm not talking about a nighttime event.
It's loud.
What is it really like here when the lights go off?
It's beautiful and it's noisy.
Yeah.
And it's like a rainforest, I think. I love it. But go ahead, you can answer.
Well, it just depends on the animal, because some animals are like, okay, peace out, I'm going to sleep, and other animals are like, party! So you have a variety of nocturnal and, just different types of animals. So sometimes they're really active, and some of the animals, kind of chill out. But the tigers, it's really funny to come in the morning and to service their habitat, and you see all these like marks all over the sand.
She talks in sound effects.
I love
That's how she talks to the animals.
I love it.
But you see all these marks all over the sand, and you're like, you had a party in here last
Right?
night, so you can tell that they've been.
It's like a Disney cartoon after everybody leaves.
Yeah.
So that's really cool because the tigers get really, really active at night.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh. So what kind of staffing is required over? Does anyone stay overnight?
We have security overnight, but
Yeah.
otherwise we do not have our general staffing here unless there's some sort of emergency or something we need to take care of. But just like you can leave your cat or dog at home, if you give them the food and the water and everything they need for the day while you go to work, similar to that, but obviously opposite schedules at nighttime.
Right.
Like Amy said, a lot of them are sleeping and other ones are awake, but they have everything they need. They're set for the night, and again, we just have security that patrols the zoo. to make sure that everything's okay. So,
What are some of the more unusual or fascinating animals that people should come and take a peek at? Aside from Marty the white
I would
alligator.
say the tapirs. I mean, I love the tapirs. I
Yeah.
think they're such a rare animal. They're an animal that when you see it, you're like, what in the world is that? And so I just
You're the one that said is like similar to the anteater.
It looks like a mix between like a hippo and an anteater and an elephant. It's a very interesting creature. And they make a sound similar to whales.
Really?
And it's how they communicate. So I just think they're the most incredible animals and very interesting ones that we have here that are different from other, zoos or aquariums you may visit.
What's the biggest animal you guys have?
Well, the grizzlies are going to be pretty big.
They will be.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You guys plan on having, is it 3 or 2?
There are 2 grizzly cubs right now, and they're about 150 pounds, but they are growing like little weeds, which is great.
Yeah.
We want them to grow. But, they are like 2 young teenagers. They are just full of spunk.
What would be the game plan for them? Is it to stay here, or is it kind of whatever?
They are non-native to Florida, so this kind of climate is not what they would generally live in.
Yeah.
So we actually have a zoo up in South Dakota is building an exhibit for them. So once that's completed, then the grizzly girls will go up there.
Grizzly girls, I love it.
Yeah. Juno and Sitka. Yeah. Grizzly girls.
Girl, they're gonna start a website and
They will.
YouTube channel.
They will.
Girls.
Facebook page,
Yeah. How to groom yourself.
Right.
Grizzlygirls.com.
Well, I can't thank you enough for your time and tell you how exciting this was for me, because when I was starting the podcast and I was thinking, I really want to interview people who are passionate about what they're doing. And I started thinking about the lists of, the type of things that people might be doing, artists, musicians, whatever. Zookeeper was right up, sorry.
Let's see, there you go. Swimming. Everyone at the zoo is a
People who work
zookeeper.
at the zoo was right up on top of my list, because I've always had a love of animals. I remember when I was little, my dad used to always joke with me, you're going to grow up to save the whales, you're going to and so I've always loved animals, and the capybara is swimming, he's so cute. And anyway, so just finding out about, a little bit behind the scenes of what goes on and how important it is what you guys do. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you for giving us a platform to further share the information about the zoo. It's been great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Would you guys like to sign off the podcast? It's really easy.
Yeah,
sure.
So you're just going to say something like, "This is Amanda and Amy with Palm Beach Zoo,
let you say
this
that.
has been Curve the Cube."
More spunk.
All right.
Jazz hands over here.
That's how she says it. It's like with jazz hands. That's how you hear it as a listener.
All right, I repeat again. Amanda and Amy with Palm Beach Zoo. You've been listening to Curve the Cube. However you want to say it.
All right.
Say it
Sounds good.
however it's natural. However's natural.
That's a crane dance.
I was gonna say an egret or something.
Yeah, it's a crane dance.
To the crane.
Now you've got me all nervous.
Too much build-up. Too much build-up. No pressure. No pressure.
Here at the Palm Beach Zoo, this is Amy and Amanda, and we are here with Curve the Cube.
Yeah! High fives. All right. You guys are awesome.
Good high fives.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You guys are awesome.
And if you want, you're welcome to roam the zoo. And the grizzly girls, they come out from like 11 to 4 because they have to share.
Of course.
Sharing is important. They always want to share. But they are actually right behind you, which is where you heard, the cars.
Yeah.
But they're super cute. They like to jump in the water and they swim and they get really close to the glass, and it's absolutely adorable. So
Yeah, they have a lot of energy.
they do.
Almost as much as Amy.
Gosh. Okay, so I have to tell you a story.
Yeah.
So the other day I was like in their exhibit, not in the exhibit, but in the back house. We were letting them into the exhibit.
Come on, you were hanging with the girls and girls.
I know, right?
She wanted to be one of them.
I know. So I'm watching them, and they're like getting ready to go out, and they open the door, and these kids, it was like children, and somebody said, "I have the last cup of ice cream," and like everybody bolts towards it. That's what it was like. They were like running as fast as they could, and they're so fluffy that like all their hair is like bouncing.
Right.
They're like sliding around because they're like trying to run as fast as the cutest thing. I'm like, that just made my day! I've never seen that before! And I wasn't expecting it either, so then I'm just like waiting, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like, look at how fast they are! So it was really funny.
You have successfully curved the cube.